you'll know that last Friday, Ryan Day made the move we all thought was going to happen after Kevin Wilson decided to become a head coach at Tulsa in elevating passing game coordinator, wide receiver coach Brian Hartline to the position of offensive coordinator. Fantastic move for Ohio State and the Buckeyes. You'll also know I have been leading the charge on Brian Hartline as a star in this sport. I wrote about this, and you can read about it at foxsports.com, about 1,500 words, getting into what Brian Hartline's elevation means for the Buckeyes and how this positions them. We're going to talk about it just a little bit and length here too. I say that I have been leading the charge on Brian Hartline because, one, it's true, and two, I did this for Marcus Freeman too, guys. I was doing it when he was at defense coordinator at Cincinnati because position coaches are kind of my thing, and the guys that are really good at this, they're really easy to spot too, right? That doesn't make me any sort of seer. It just means I love the sport and I'm paying attention. Because if you're looking at Brian Hartline, you're also looking at his wide receivers. They played most of the season without the most talented wide receiver in the sport in Jackson Smith-Njigba. And all they did was produce a Biletnikoff Award finalist in Marvin Harrison Jr., along with Emeka Egbuka being what I thought was the best all-purpose player this side of Deuce Vaughn, right? Above the Mason-Dixon line, it was Emeka Egbuka, right? You're also looking at Julian Fleming still coming in his own. And down the line, Brian Hartline has been able to do this. And then you look up, and the two dudes that he put in the first round of the NFL draft, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, are also the first two rookie wide receivers in the NFL this season to hit over 1,000 yards receiving at their respective places, the Saints and, of course, New York Jets. So it's not just that he is a great evaluator and recruiter of talent, because it's one thing to say that guy's good. It's another thing to get him on the campus, another thing to keep him on campus, and then to turn him into the first-round draft pick. It is that he's doing this over and over and over again, okay? So I'm looking at this, and there are a couple of questions that come up with the offensive coordinator title, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put this to bed. Ryan Day's calling the plays, all right? Kevin Wilson didn't call the plays. He's offensive coordinator, started tight ends coach, became offensive coordinator. Ryan Day became the head coach, and he needs somebody that was going to get in the film room with him and help him select a play sheet each and every week, right? I think Brian Hartline's going to be able to do that. Number one, because passing game coordinator. Number two, because he's been that good at putting his guys into positions to succeed. And not every time, they go out there to have gangbuster games. Sometimes he's having to have these conversations on the sideline with guys like Emeka Egbuka, like, why'd you leave CJ Stroud hanging out to dry on that play? A couple of times that has happened. Now, I also think that it's important to ask this question. Is Hartline, right, more likely to stay at Columbus now that he's an offensive coordinator as opposed to a wide receiver coach? I think so. But also, when his name was fiery, right, as to somebody's going to hire this man away, he went out of his way to send a tweet saying, hey, look, I'm a Buckeye. I want to stay a Buckeye. I'm happy to be a Buckeye. I'm going to be a Buckeye. And then he got elevated, right? What I think is more interesting about this is how long will he stay? Right? So let's assume the best of the things in the world happen for Ohio State Buckeyes is I want the best thing in the world to happen for your football program. They run the table. They win a national championship. What is to stop a guy like Brian Hartline from taking another job? Nothing. But it really got to depend on the job, because being 1A, or 1B, depending on how you want to view a defensive coordinator, at Ohio State is still a much better job being a head coach at a group of 5 level where you're really going to have a fight and claw for everything you get, right? I'm not thinking that Brian Hartline wants to get up off of his seat to go be the head coach, I don't know, at BFE University, right? I think being the guy at Columbus where he played his college ball, where he caught passes from a Heisman winner, where he has developed talent, where his name means that much more, is a cush job and a really great job. But he's going into a season now where they have to evaluate the quarterbacks. This is going to be interesting, right? Because unless something catastrophic happens, and I don't think it will, CJ Stroud is going to get drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, okay? He announced Martin Luther King Day. He's going in. That means that we're going to have a QB derby between Kyle McCord, Devin Brown, going in 2023 to see who the starter is going to be. And whoever the starter is going to be, probably going to be a first-round draft pick, because that's what every starting quarterback for Ryan Day has been since he got there as an OC in 2017. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Dwayne, Heisman winner, right? Or excuse me, Heisman winner. First round draft pick. Many people thought he should have won the Heisman. That's Baker's Heisman. And then now it's Kyler's Heisman, so forth, so on. And then you got Justin Fields, who transfers in from Georgia, right? Now we're on to CJ Stroud. I think when I'm looking at this, I'm also ask you two questions. Should CJ have gone? Absolutely. Like, I put this question out on the tweets, and I got hundreds of people that responded to it. I should say over 100 people responded to it. And then who knows what traffic it got for college football on Fox, which has a Twitter following that is gargantuan. But the point is, how many of y'all thought that CJ Stroud should, go to the NFL draft where top 5 picks probably going to make $35 million guaranteed? And I was floored by the number of people that thought he should stay to collect NIL money, which is wild, because I don't care how much money you think you're going to make, name, image, and likeness. We're talking about first-round NFL draft money, not 6th, 7th round NFL draft money, okay? It's really cut and dry there. You really want to go to the NFL just as soon as they're likely to have you, and there's nothing else for him to prove at that level. If anything, he would have come back because he had not beaten Michigan as starting quarterback, and he had not won a Big Ten title or a national championship. And I think he, more than anybody else, understands those facts are going to follow him forever. And that is really underscoring what it means to him to be a Buckeye. Because it's not, for you and I think, for those of us that aren't Buckeyes, it's simple arithmetic for me. Yeah, I didn't win those games. I wanted to win those games to get everything I had to go in those games. But right now, I got to go get this money, okay? I got to get this life-changing, generational money, all right? That means a little bit more to me than having one more chance to go win a college football game at this juncture in my life after I haven't got it done twice in a row, okay? But that he was even thinking about it shows what he believes about the Scarlet and Gray and what he knows it has helped him do for the rest of his life, right? That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is they know what they have in Kyle McCord, and they know that Devin Brown is going to be that guy, and they know that CJ is going to get a first-round draft pick, so let's just keep the train moving. So let's pivot, right, to who going to be the starting quarterback at Ohio State in 23. Well, as I mentioned, Devin Brown, redshirt freshman, versus Kyle McCord, right, redshirt sophomore. And I really got this one kind of whittled out, right? It's quarterback derby, and I'm not going to count Devin Brown out, and I don't think you should either. Before Ryan Day names a starter, I don't think he's going to name a starter until a couple weeks before they have their week 1 game. However, as I said, I wrote about this over at foxsports.com. One of the things that I want to impress upon you is that the guy that has the best chemistry with the best wide receiver on the team has had the best chemistry with the best wide receiver on the team for several years now, and that is Kyle McCord, all right? So, man, look at Javion. Look at his graphic. If you're not looking at this graphic, you should be looking at this graphic. Stop the podcast. Go check this graphic out on the podcast, because Javion did a fantastic job outlining what it is like for Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. to be a tandem. So they went to St. Joseph's Preparatory School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. While they were there, they both set city records and they won championships. Like, I got the numbers right here in front of me. Their final game in 6A state title, McCord completed 21 to 28 passes for 336 yards. 8 of those completions were to Harrison Jr., who finished with 156 yards receiving in a 62-13 shellacking of Central York. Now, both left Philly with city records for career passing yards, career pass TDs, and career receiving yards and career receiving TDs, respectively. And they are not small numbers. We're talking about damn near 7,000 yards passing from McCord with 88 TDs. We're talking about over 2,600 receiving yards for Marvin Harrison Jr., 37 tutties. So if Marvin Harrison Jr.'s play in 2022 can in any way be indicative of Kyle McCord's future play, 2023 or 2024, it's a problem, guys. It's a problem, because that's the kind of tandem that they are now drafting into the NFL. Think about it this way. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Everybody was like, man, why would we do that? Well, because they were pretty damn good together at LSU. Let's put them back together and see what we got. Oh, let's walk into the Super Bowl as the doggone Cincinnati Bengals. Now, no disrespect to the Bengals fans out there, right? Y'all got my man Dax Hill putting off Tulsa on. Y'all the Bengals. Okay? All right, let's do it again. Let's go with Tua Tagovailoa, Miami. Add Jalen Waddle to the mix. How about that? My God. They make the playoffs, right? And we got to look at Skylar Thompson. No disrespect. Can't stay. Stand up. Skylar Thompson as starting quarterback in Miami. If Tua is out there, you know what it's going to be. You know what it was like. That's what you have at Ohio State right now. And I've already got Ohio State fans in my mentions lamenting that they'll only get to play 1 year together. Yo, man, 1 year is enough, all right? You get 1 year out of this tandem right here, and they do what I think they can do. It's a problem. And it's going to be so much fun to watch because it's not just Marvin Harrison Jr., right? It is Julian Fleming. It is Mekabuka. And then I'll add in this, back to the Hartline piece of it. 3 of the top 4 recruits in the 2023 class are wide receivers. Brandon Ennis, hello, played at American Heritage. His coach, Pat Surtain Sr., who's now DB coach at Florida State. Hello. Carnell Tate, oh yeah, he just finished up at IMG Academy. Hello. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it's not slowing down up there. They have gone from being a peak running and offensive line team. Eddie George won the Heisman Trophy, Zeke being Zeke. Also, the introduction of the pancake as a statistic because Orlando Pace was that damn good. To we're going to air it out. We are going to get after it like Maverick leading a bunch of F-18s into a valley to go hit a bullseye the size of my pinky, okay? That's what they got going on over there. And that's one of the reasons why we have our expectations so high. And finally, on the Ohio State bit, you watched the national championship game and you're seething. You have to be. You heard Kirby Smart say, we're going to go hunt, and you're seething. You have to be. You saw Kirby Smart go not 1, but 2, and you're seething, and you have to be because you know you had them dead right. Look, Stetson Bennett was in a victory parade. He had a sweatshirt said, them dogs is hell. Yeah, all right. But Ohio State gave them hell. We got Georgia celebrating winning that championship over a missed field goal at midnight and one of the best timeouts in the history of the sport. And that's without Marvin Harrison Jr. playing the second half of the game. There's no Trayvon Henderson there either. There's no Jackson Smith-Njigba. If you're Ohio State, you're going, get us back. Get us back. Run it back because we got the measure of them. All right? We took your best shot. It's your house in Atlanta, down the street from Athens, where it was bleeding dog red. And you are celebrating kicker having a bad day. Nerves getting to him. What have you? Fine. All right? You got to deal with this if you're Ohio State. You got to deal with everybody who's come below the Mason-Dixon line has been stepped on since 2014. You got to deal with that, right? You got to deal with Alabama and Georgia saying, yes, but when it comes to playing time, who wins? When it comes to championship time, who wins? You got to deal with that. And now you got to deal with Michigan saying, well, actually, we're the best team above the Mason-Dixon line. I can't wait to see what Ohio State looks like because you're past being mad. You can't be mad anymore. Mad doesn't work for you. Humility, quiet aggression, controlled anger, controlled fury. I want to see what you got. Man, it's January. I'm already excited for September. Let's get after it, dog. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.